Her beautiful naked body looked magical, passing through the shade and light spots of the room. Geoff followed her with hungry eyes. The thoughts about Manama were buried deep in his mind again. "So what were you really thinking about?" she shouted through the open door. Geoff collected their clothes, thrown all around the floor, and sat on the edge of the bed. When Diane was back in the room, he asked, "Do you think we can really trust Rudy?" "I don't know. I really don't know who I can trust, apart from you. As you said, I thought the fact that he works for the CIA means he's one of the good guys, but I'm alien to all these double agent things, doing bad things for the greater good and so on." Diane put a nightgown on and sat behind Geoff, embracing him with her legs, and whispered in his ear, "And what about your Manama? Don't start with me. I know you won't agree, but I somehow believe her. Maybe it's just because now I have at least some explanation for the past. I believe you, because I also think she was honest. Her eyes said so. But there is something that bugs me about her." "What?" "I don't know. It's stupid, but in general, I don't like people that are fanatics. For me, an extremist terrorist and someone ready to do whatever it takes for an agency or a government are the two faces of the same rotten coin." "I know what you're talking about. I still can't understand how killing someone can be a legal right for a chosen few and a great crime if committed by everybody else. But anyway, let's not get too serious now. It's not the right time." Geoff turned, kissed Diane, and said, "Are you hungry?" "Actually, I am. Room service?" "Good idea." 10 minutes later, Geoff and Diane sat at the round table overlooking the street and the skyscrapers opposite, waiting for their order to be delivered, and they talked about their real sphere of competence. "Do you really believe a 24-ton statue existed and that it's somewhere out there?" Diane asked. "I don't know what to believe. Up until your call, which, by the way, is the only reason I'm involved in this at all." "Complaining?" Diane interrupted him while gently moving her foot up and down his manhood. "I'm serious here." Geoff tried to prevent the hardening. "I don't like all these agencies and stuff. I want the vase and the plate. I want to take them to Alan. I want me and you to look for solutions and the solving of a historical and archaeological mystery, not the CIA or some shady military agencies from God knows where." "So, do you think the statue really exists?" Diane let her legs slip back to the floor. "I personally can't decide whether it does or not. In my opinion, it might have existed, and obviously the find in Syria provides enough evidence to consider that as a serious possibility. But since it didn't reappear at any later moment in time, I think it's been destroyed. You see, if there really was such a massive statue with such strong symbolic meaning, every ruler from there on would have loved to own it himself and use it for his own benefits. My theory is it was broken to pieces or even melted down many years ago." "Maybe you're right. It sounds logical. As you can see, even nowadays people die and go mad just at the thought of it. I agree that the statue is long gone, but maybe the translation of the treasures from Ankara will give us some answers as to what actually happened to it." "Yes, and I think it's about time we stopped wasting time with stupid things." Geoff grinned at her to show he was joking. "And concentrate on the translation from the pages Manama gave us. She could be anything, but I can assure you she is an immaculate academic, and no doubt she found the best translators possible and has done the job properly." "Okay, I'll get the papers while the food Geoff squeezed Diane's hand to make her stop talking. He was suddenly on the edge of his seat. She looked worriedly at him. A clicking sound came from behind the door of the room leading to the corridor. "Maybe it's our food," Diane said, but Geoff had a different opinion. He grabbed her hand and drew her towards him. A few seconds later, the door flew open under the heavy kick of military boots. 4 masked and heavily armed men rushed into the room, opening fire the moment they stepped in. The bullets from their lethal machine guns flew everywhere, wrecking the whole place. The windows shattered, the glass table exploded into a million pieces. Geoff and Diane's clothes were covered in hundreds of holes. The tallest of the masked men lifted his hand, and immediately everybody ceased fire. His dark eyes narrowed under his bushy eyebrows as he gazed around the room, looking for a particular thing.